Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. So I don't want to freeze anyone out here. I'm just going to tell you what I do on a daily basis that involves a little bit of coldness. And what I want you to do is bring this concept back to your medical team or do more research and see if it's something that you want to try. Now, I never give medical advice and I never want to give one strategy for everyone, but I just think this topic is really interesting. So there are a lot of people who've been very vocal about the fact that they take cold showers in the morning. I actually do a warm shower, and then at the end, I do a very, 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 very cold shower all over my body. And I happen to love going from the warm to the very cold. And I love the way it just perks me up and wakes me up. I don't get shivered or chilled. I just really feel alive for some reason. That cold water hitting me makes me feel my life. And when I get my hair washed, they do it the same way. Say if I'm going to get a cutter blown out. And then at the very end, I always do a super, super, super cold rinse. Now, some people call this cold therapy, cold showers, cryotherapy. All these different words to me are about the same. I read an article out of UCLA Health about the benefits of cold therapy. And it really got me thinking about if I had known about this during my cancer treatment, would I have used it as a strategy? I do use it in my survivorship, but I started to dig deeper into the research specifically related to cancer. And I think it's really interesting and promising what's being reported. So I'm just going to start with the first article that I read from Saranne, MD at UCLA Health, and then I'll move more into some of the cancer research. But she said running out of hot water during your shower might actually be a good thing. A cold shower, even just for a few minutes, can work as cold therapy to help you heal, recover, and generally feel good, especially after exercise. So as I said, the first article I stumbled upon had nothing to do with cancer, but I just liked what I was reading. And then I went and dug deeper. Someone actually told me that Tony Robbins is a huge proponent of cold showers and takes them daily. I have not checked that out. I just heard that from somebody that is a big Tony Robbins fan. Now back to Saranne Haim's article from UCLA Health. So in this article, they talk about cold showers, cold spray, cold water immersion or ice baths, localized ice applications, and whole body cryotherapy. So I do this warm shower experience, not very hot at all. And then I really lower the temperature down all the way that my shower will go. In this article, it talks about below 60 degrees for 2 or 3 minutes at a time. But as I said, she also talks about cold spray, numbing an area, or submerging everything but your head or neck in cold water. That's like a cold bath. I really don't take baths. I have a tendency to have dry skin. So I stay out of deep, long, drying hot water baths and showers. She also talks about localized ice application, and that's for specific muscle groups. or whole body cryotherapy, which exposes the body to very cold vapors. Now, as I said, I do the first one. I'm super busy and I just like to do the cold shower piece. Now, again, if you have convulsions or epilepsy in particular, I would definitely check with a medical professional before doing anything that shocks your body, especially if you have a heart condition. I'm just telling you this is what I personally do and the benefits that I see from it, and also referencing this article. So, thought behind it is that it might protect you from viruses, that it can stimulate your blood cells to fight infection. There is this study out of the Netherlands that Dr. Haim references that talks about people that switch to cold showers for 30, 60, or 90 seconds for 90 days reported 29% less sick days from work than people who didn't switch cold showers. I thought that was a really cool study. The next thing she talks about is combating symptoms of depression, and that there isn't a ton of research, but there was one clinical study that said patients who took cold showers for several months reported decreased depression. And I just think that that's amazing that just cold water may boost your mood and decrease anxiety. Except if you hate cold water, then the thought of taking a cold shower might increase your anxiety. But I personally find it joyful. I find that burst of fresh water, cold water, really makes me happy. Another idea is that it improves your circulation. Now, cold water strains your body and your body clicks into survival mode. And that's exactly what I did when I was told to get my affairs in order when I was told I had stage 4 cancer that wasn't responding. I went into survival mode. So this concept that this cold water could really stimulate and increase my blood flow, I liked that. Now, again, you're going to want to check with your doctor to see if that's safe for you. But for me, increasing my circulation really made me think that I was freshly circulating my blood to all areas of the body so that it had to recover from this instant shock of the cold water. That's what laughter does when you surprise yourself with a joke or you just have yourself laugh. Your body oxygenates itself from this laughter and the blood is flowing. And I felt like it had a similar effect. Now, that's not scientifically told to me, but it's the same feeling that I get. And that's why I really liked it. There's also some proof that this warm to cold shower really can help with increasing your metabolism, because the energy that you need to stay warm in a cold shower helps you burn a small amount of calories. Seem good to me unless you are so severely underweight that they don't want you burning any calories. And then again, I would check with your doctor, your nutritionist, because we wouldn't want to do anything to have you burn more calories if you're not supposed to. But remember, this isn't in lieu of exercising, guys. There's also proof that cold temperatures can reduce inflammation, it can prevent muscle soreness, and it can also relieve localized pain. So all of these benefits just seem to outweigh any of the negatives, like that initial shock of the water or being a little uncomfortable for a second as you spray the cold water. Now, again, she does mention that if you have heart disease, you wouldn't want to do this without medical guidance. If you have a strange hive condition where you get hives in response to cold exposure, or if you have Raynaud's syndrome where you have numbness in your fingers and toes in response to cold, you also don't want to shock yourself so much that you slip in the shower. You want to be careful, but To me, all those things were not an issue. So I really experimented with doing the cold showers. What I really loved about this article was that she gave tips for how to start doing this. And the first thing she said was keep the water below 60 degrees, and that's typical for a home shower. She did say take it slow. Start with 30 seconds of cold water one day, then work up to a minute, and then progress for up to 2 to 3 minutes. She did say that you could do this as much as once a day. Now, I thought it was interesting because she referenced that athletic trainers at UCLA actually had a slightly different method that they suggested. They said that post workout, you should do a hot shower for 3 minutes, followed by a cold shower for 1 minute, and then repeat the pattern 3 times, but always end with a cold shower. Now, I don't work out that hard. I love to dance. I do some weights, but I'm not in athletic training. And I would also check if you were going to do something that rigorous with your medical team, particularly if you're on cancer treatment right now. I really did find a lot of studies about cold exposure and making it harder for cancer cells to grow. There was an interesting study out of Sweden with mice, and they said even turning the thermostat down. Now, again, you don't want to get pneumonia, you don't want to get a chill, but I do sleep with the thermostat at about 66. I hate being hot when I sleep. And that came also from having such bad night sweats when I had cancer and also when I became menopausal. So I got very used to sleeping in colder rooms and having sheets that did not make me hotter. There are a lot of sites that just claim if you jump into cold water, you're going to stop your cancer growth and you're going to heal. I think some of the sites that I read, they were extracting from the Swedish study and making a big leap. I still believe there's something in this, but I would want a lot more research before I traded in a chemo bag and surgery for just jumping into cold water. So I really think you have to do these things with measure and balance and with guidance. But as I said, I do it. I just wouldn't choose to do it specifically in lieu of all my other treatment. Even the NIH had a study that I found about the possible stimulation of anti-tumor immunity using repeated cold stress, a hypothesis. So it really looks like people are trying to figure this out. How can it help? What kind of cancers can it help? How does it help our overall health and longevity? I just wanted to talk about it and get the story started and just tell you how I am doing it for my well-being, even if it didn't work on improving my immune system. I like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel alert and happy, so I would do it anyway. Have a great day. I can't wait to hear if your doctor cleared you to try this and what impact it's having on you. You know that I love when you go to comedycures.org and you hit the record button and you tell me your experience, or you hit the menu and you look for the contact button and you let me know in writing how you're progressing with this practice. Have a blessed day. Have a nice towel next to the shower so you don't get a chill, and let me know how this goes for you. See you tomorrow. I hope you guys know this, but Beating Cancer Daily is a listener and donor-supported podcast and community. So if you have some extra change, I'd love you to go to comedycures.org and make a donation today of whatever level is comfortable for you. And it will be tax deductible to the extent allowed by law, because Comedy Cures is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded from my chemo chair, April 1999, and we've been going strong ever since. So please consider making a donation today and help our community and this podcast thrive. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.